Greetings, sunshines and sunnies. It is I, Queen J Lotus Pimp Sun Kids, coming at y'all right quick, right fast, maybe, with a royale review for My Wife and Kids Season 1, Episode 4 of Breast and Basketball. So this episode has a theme that revolves around manhood, the perspectives of it, that is, and womanhood, the perspectives of it, that is, as well as the experience, you know what I'm saying, the competitiveness that can arise and all that. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this review. We start off with Michael vigorously dribbling around the court, giving it all that he's got, honey. And his Daisy Dukes, them ain't quite Daisy Dukes, okay? But as this particular time period is concerned, they would be considered in the Daisy Dukes area, okay? He got on all of his like vintage old school basketball gear. Junior is looking at him like he crazy, like, sir, what is this? What is it giving? But Michael is unfazed by his criticism or whatever, and he like, okay, that was a good intro. Class is in session. Let's go ahead and get you ready for your game that you got coming up. So that lets us know that Junior is on the basketball team and he got a game coming up. Michael is trying to be, you know, his fatherly coach type shit. And I would also assume that this is his way of trying to bond with him in the process as well. And Junior is kind of reluctant. He like, I'm ready. I've been born ready. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you could teach me running around here with your drawers on and carrying on. Let me show you what I got. So Junior starts doing, child, what a lot of boys was doing in the early 2000s. Not just the boys, but the girls too, because my sister, she also used to play basketball. Used to be out there dribbling the ball out between your legs and turning around and doing all types of tricks and whatnot. And Michael is like, what is all that? You expending too much energy. It don't even cost all that. You can do 2 dribbles and a shot and be done for and still win the game. But Junior is like, 2 dribbles and a shot don't get you on Sports Center. So this is the indication too of like the difference in generation. A lot of my generation and younger, we were fed a lot more media that really influenced us more to aspire for fame more than anything, really. So Junior is all like in his mind about like the stardom, the notoriety, the popularity, the being seen aspect, as opposed to the actual fundamentals, the respectability of the game and the respectability of knowing the history. Like I said, the fundamentals, having skill and technique amongst being able to do a bunch of tricks and showboatery and getting popular attention and all that. And he is being quite arrogant. So Michael is, you know, trying to give him the history, tell him about some older basketball players, the things that they went through, you know, how they would get the crowd responding when they shot and this, that, and the third. And Junior ain't really trying to hear it. He don't think that there's no value in knowing anything about that. And honestly, there is. But we'll get to all that as we get through the episode. But he is really testing your boy Michael. And Michael is like, okay, let's just play one-on-one and see who wins. And this is the first instance of Michael trying to teach him a lesson by proving the point that you ain't got to do all that to win. The issue is Michael is a bit rusty. It's been a while since he played. And being the fact that Junior does know how to do all of these tricks and stuff and it's very new to Michael, it did throw him off, child. And after Junior got through talking crap, talking about, you sure you want to play me in that? Your shirt's so tight, I can see your heart beating. And you want to get back your little sister her shorts or whatever? Like, what is happening? He actually asked him, did he get them shorts from Katie? So they played. And Junior gives him the business. Had him turning all types of which ways. Couldn't hardly see where he was going. Schooled your boy. It was real hard to watch out here. So that is like the intro scene to the episode. It fades into black to get, you know, the opening credits. You know how My Wife and Kids do. They don't really have a theme song, but they got a little short theme song jingle type shit, do that. And we transition into the first official scene of the episode, which is Claire, Jay, and Katie in the kitchen. And Claire is like, you know, she's trying to go to a party that one of her friends is throwing, and she's gonna need to go to the mall so she can get some undergarments for said party. Then she starts talking about, you know, she starts asking Jay, do she notice that a lot of the guys mostly dance with the girls that have big old breastises? Okay, so Claire is going through some developing insecurities and whatnot. She don't feel like she's developing as fast as the rest of her friends, classmates, and all of that. Now, this is another indication of some things that my generation in the early 2000s too, where this focus on like big breast, big booty, and fat phobia, and like a whole lot of hypercriticism on women's bodies really started to escalate. Like a lot of the hypercriticism of women's bodies now in this fight to stop the hypercriticism, it started like the roots of all of that. And of course, some stuff was going on before, but I'm talking about this specific type of hypercriticism of women's bodies. The roots of all of that is in the early 2000s. And this is what is being implemented in this scene. Like I said, where Junior is very fascinated and fixated on fame, whereas Claire is very fascinated and fixated on attention from boys. Now, granted, this similar storyline was touched on in a lot of different sitcoms from the 90s. But like I said, it's a whole nother level and a whole nother layer of things that was going on in the media at this time. Because keep in mind, we had America's Next Top Model, a whole lot of like Toddlers and Tiaras shows, a whole lot of very young actresses, young singers, and all of that being projected into the media with these like just really setting up really extravagant standards of beauty, and the way that a lot of the younger generation now feels like they should be making 100 mil by the time they're 13. A lot of 13-year-olds back in the day felt like they should have bodacious tits and ass and a slim waist, and or pressure to feel like they gotta be a size 0 for the absolute rest of their life, triggering all these different eating disorders and unhealthy crash diets and just a whole lot of, okay? So like I said, that's what we get in here with Claire. She's having some insecurities in her development, and I'm giving y'all like some background history of what was going on back then that really emphasized those types of insecurities. So like I said, she's asking Jay, does she notice that, guys tend to go for the girls with the bigger breasts and all of that? And Jay was like, yeah, but you can just hang with your girlfriends, dance with your girlfriends. Don't worry about the men. Don't worry about getting attention from men, which I feel like is a good response. But I also feel like you have to acknowledge that that's a real feeling and a real experience that a lot of girls, whether the parents are influencing that or not, a lot of girls grow up in this society being conditioned to censor men and to fixate on the attention and validation or lack thereof that they get or don't get from men and boys. So that's something that Jay was kind of missing the mark on. Like, you're trying to completely distract her from that reality for the sake of, shielding her and redirecting her to a better space. But you still have to validate what it is she's expressing to you in the moment, because that's, easier said than done, especially coming from the generation that Claire was coming from at the time. And Claire has this disgusted response to Jay telling her, just dance with your girlfriends. And she's like, ugh, like what? And see, Claire is having that response because she's not thinking about it like, take more value from the people that value you. Claire is expressing, I'm desiring boys, and I don't feel like the boys are desiring me. So Jay's response puts in her head, what, you want me to desire women? Like, what's going on? That don't align with me, huh? So like I said, Jay was she was trying. I ain't criticizing her much, but she kind of missed the mark there because, like I said, you got to validate the reality that Claire is talking about first. But Jay does then ask her, what is this fixation you got on body parts right now? Is there something specific that you want to tap into? And Claire's like, no, I'm just concerned about having small breasts for the rest of my life like some freak. So Jay caught her straight because Jay ain't got no titties. And they always lighten Jay up about not having no titties. But that is okay because Jay got that ass. But either way, you know what I'm saying? Having tits and ass, it's not the most important thing in the world. Body positivity around here, okay? Not having big breasts or big ass doesn't take away from you being beautiful and gorgeous and desirable. Okay. But that conversation was interrupted by Junior coming in extremely elated that he done beat Michael in the game that they was just playing. And Jay is pretty much surprised because she's like, Michael used to be quite the star player back in the day. And that just, elates Junior even further because, of course, he already know. And he like, yes. And that's why I'm so excited. I got to tell everybody I know. And he starts rooting for himself like, Junior. Then he noticed that he the only one cheering for himself. He like, hello, where my cheerleaders? And they just started to join in like, Junior. And Michael walks in the midst, and Jay straightens herself up and it's like, Michael, yeah. But she already been caught, and he like, I don't know what the big deal is. It was just one-on-one game. It ain't like, it's no NBA, nothing, whatever, what have you. It's beginner's luck. He just got lucky. And Jay is taking it like he's being a sore loser. And he's like, no, it ain't even about all of that. It ain't even about the fact that he won. It's the fact that he's a sore winner. I'm trying to give him the fundamentals and the history, and all he can talk about is how tight the shirt is and short the shorts are. And Jay tells him, okay, you got to admit that them shorts are, you know what I'm saying, riding up there. But honey, what I got to say on that is Daddy look good, okay? You can talk about how tight his shirt is, short his short. Yeah, and Daddy look good. Okay. But Michael input something similar to what I was saying about the influence on this whole thing. And he feels like the influence specifically is this hip hop flex culture mentality. Everybody got to be hard. Everybody got to talk shit and act like, somebody is less than them. They got to big themselves up by putting other folks down. And he talks about how he feels like it's spilling over into, like the basketball arena of it all. No pun intended. And child, when you really look at it today, it has. A lot of sports stuff is heavily influenced and like themed with hip-hop culture. And Michael gives the example by the cereal boxes. And I wonder what the thing is, who started that, said we're gonna put NBA and other professional sports stars on on cereal boxes. But maybe it was to push the whole got milk thing, the encouragement for everybody to be drinking milk. I'm gonna do some research on that at some point. But anyway, he's talking about Allen Iverson, great player, but now you got cornrows and your cornflakes. Then he talks about another player choking out his coach on the on a cereal box. So I don't have to look up some of the stuff that he is talking about. But David Wayans is hilarious. That's one of his ad-lib jokester monologues type shit. And we love to see and hear it. And so yeah, he's basically running down how he feels like the sports have been losing their respectability, specifically when it comes to who they project into the forefront. And I feel like there is truth to that. There is some truth to that. While there are some respectable players that have been exalted. But we're going to save that conversation for another time. So Michael goes in and he's like, I also feel like Junior's trying to insinuate that I done got too old, that I missed a step or something. And Jay is like, I think you have to accept the fact that you have gotten older and things don't work like they used to. And Michael is like, no, it ain't got nothing to do with getting older. I just fell off of my physical activity routine. All I need to do is recondition, get back in shape, and I'm going to be back kicking it like I was. And I feel like both things are true. At a certain point, I feel like the age that Michael is here, he's absolutely correct. He could just get back in shape and start doing the damn thing. Howsoever, at the same time, he still has to be extra careful, more careful than what he was when he was younger, because if he does get injured or push himself too hard, he's going to have a different level of catchback on the back end from that, like an extra level of soreness, and he may not heal as fast as he used to because he is older. But at that moment, Junior walks in and disrupts their conversation, and he's like, "What's up, Dad? Are you okay?" That's like a callback from the joke, from the history lesson that Michael was giving him as they were playing. He was telling him about a player that used to shoot, and the crowd will do the wave like, "Oh, Tay." Now, I'm too young to know anything about all that. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do some research. I'm gonna have to do some research after this in the meantime, in between time, and I might come back and tell y'all what I found. Or y'all can tell me in the comments if you know, okay? Okay, well, yeah. Michael is not amused by Junior's jokes and trash talk, okay? He gives a little sarcastic hee-hee-ha-ha laugh back at Junior like, I ain't trying to hit it. And Junior's like, okay, gym teacher and all this other stuff. That was lame. Shut up, Junior. But Michael starts to try to take the power back, like, yeah, you know what? Don't nobody talk trash in this house except for me. So you want to talk some trash? Take out the trash, okay? And also go out there and cut the grass with scissors and retile the roof and wash my car. How about that? Putting his dick on the table as the daddy of the house. And this is one of the moments where it becomes apparent that this is very much so a dick swinging contest that is some fallout from Michael, having been the most present parent before this series show actually starts. You go back and watch the other episodes and you'll hear me say where from the very first episode and the second episode, there's a lot of implementation that because Michael worked so much, he wasn't really a very hands-on parent. He wasn't in the house much. Jay was very much so a full-time housewife at one point with not very much help or presence from Michael. Now, Michael has gotten into a good place in his business where he's able to be at home more and be hands-on more with the kids. And this is one of the moments where we see the kids kind of acting out as a result of that and challenging and testing his authority. Specifically, Junior in this case, and especially because Junior is a boy and he's the only boy of the kids, he and Michael are the only males of their immediate family. So when Michael was out all that time, Junior was very much so the only male in the house. And the way that Jay kind of has and it's not as extreme, of course, as a Mama D with Lil Scrappy or anything, but Jay kind of has a Jocasta complex type thing going on with Junior, and I feel it has contributed to him being able to feel like the man of the house in Michael's absence for all that time. Now that Michael is back in the house, Junior is choosing different instances to buck at him and So on some dick swinging shit, on some position of authority, male dominance type shit. So this is like the first kind of blatant indication of that, where Michael is low-key, high-key peeping what Junior is putting down, and he like, I got to remind you that I am the father, I am the man of the house. Now go do what I said before I ground you or whatever. And mind you, Michael is also having the challenge of not physically disciplining the kids the way he was so harshly physically disciplined as a child, and trying not to be the pig-headed, misogynistic, overly patriarchal father that his father was. Okay? So all of that kept in mind here. Now the next day, Michael is easing on into the kitchen, clearly in pain. Jay looking at him like he crazy. She said, honey, what you want for breakfast? He said some Bengay with a side of Tiger Balm and drizzle some icy hot on it. So I can't even lift my arms up, honey. He eased on down in that chair. Boy, tisk. And so Jay tells him it's because you spent all day and night yesterday playing basketball with Junior. And Michael feel like he can't understand what the issue is, because he used to be a gym rat back in college, just going and going and going and going, and ain't ever have no issue with soreness. And Jay tells him, look, I think you just gonna have to accept the fact that you are getting a little older. And like I said, their recovery process gonna be different, okay? And he is still stuck on, hell bent on, nah, it ain't no getting older. I just gotta get back in shape, get my conditioning going, and stay away from you. And she like, well, what did I do? He like, you keep me in bed and rob me of my natural manly nitroglycerin. Like, sorry, what? Now. So Jay gonna say, you know what I think? I think you're competing with your son. And Michael is like, nah, this ain't got nothing to do with no competition. This is about respect. It's only one line in this layer. Now, he don't realize that he just said the same thing, that you competing with your son. But I guess he's trying to say that he ain't got to compete because he the king of the castle. But honey, you still competing? You still competing. You are engaged in the competition. Full throttle. But he also has to correct himself and acknowledge Jay's value as another leader in the house. And you know, Jay gonna talk her shit because that's where Junior get it from. And she's talking about, yeah, I still think you a sore loser. And he like, see, no nitro for you tonight. Now, Junior walks in the middle of that conversation again, talking about he done finished his chores, and Michael is asking him list by list. He like, yes, sir. So Michael is like, is he messing with me? Michael's gonna tell him to vacuum wood. Like, what? So Junior's like, Brody, get somebody else to do it. I'm done. You trying to punish me for beating you? It ain't going down like that, playboy. And Michael is like, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna say what I want. It's over when I say it's over. Like, what? You can't tell me that. Tell me what address you finna be staying at, because you ain't finna be doing all that up in here. And so Junior is like, you can't tell me what to do now. Michael is like, oh. So suddenly, you's a man now. You think because you got 3 hairs in your drawers now that you a man, you tough or something? So he flexing on your boy. He trying his gangster, honey. He trying his gangster. And so Jay is over there looking like, bro, like she want to tell Michael to like, chill out, don't do him like this. She really wanted to defend Junior in this moment, but I think she also know that she don't need to encourage him no more than where he already is type shit. She just know that this ain't a situation she kind of really want to jump in on, because it could cause like extra friction either way it go, okay? But this is the ultimate dick swinging contest going on here. Tisk. And so Junior stick his chin up and his chest out talking about, oh, I know I can beat you in one-on-one. And Michael talking about, is you referring to basketball? I know you got to be referring to basketball. And Junior like, maybe I am, maybe I ain't. And Michael is like, choose which direction you want to fall in, because I'm about to knock you upside your head and on your ass, playboy. So y'all, this is Michael Daddy about to jump up out of him, child. Michael Daddy almost jumped up out of him, child. And Jay comes darting from behind the counter like, whoa. Ain't gonna be no fight in this house, just a child. Junior stepped up like he was ready to prove who the fuck he thought he was or something. Junior stepped up like, run it. Run up, get done up, run up, get done up, honey. Now, I don't think he was gonna win. But he stepped up like, I got heart. And it do be like that in father-son relationships sometimes. The older the son get, start to challenge the daddy be trying his gangster, and shit be coming to a head like talking about, and child, this is a good case, honey. Jay is a good wife and mother. She stepped in the middle of it, and you know they got respect for her because they backed off, because child, in real life, all the men folk don't be respected in they matriarch like that. They better knocked her across the room and got busy. A mess, honey. A mess. But she's able to get them to like redirect their physical aggression to another game of basketball. And Junior is like, let's make it interesting. Let's place a bet. What's good? If I win, you got to do all my chores. And Junior is like, if you win, I do all my chores, and I do it with a smile, without a word said. So Michael is like, gonna be real quiet around this house. Let's get it, child. And so Junior's still talking his shit, talking about, yeah, old man, all this, that, and the third. He walks out, and Michael is a little perturbed. He look at Jay talking about that old man thing ain't working for me. Continuously feeling like he got a point to prove off that old man shit. But we flash to the next scene, and honey, it is evident the proof is in the lawnmower going across the yard with Michael's hands pushing it, honey. He done got smacked down in that good old game of basketball against Junior. And Junior's sitting off to the side just gleeful, honey. Cheesing from ear to ear, getting his entire life. And then Jay come knocking on the window. Knocking on the window. And of course, Michael can't hear her. Junior is sitting up there acting like he can't hear her, honey. And she yell out there talking about, tell your daddy to come here. Okay, so he tells Michael that Jay wants him in the house. And Michael style, he get ready to walk in. Junior talking about, you missed a spot. Michael leans down talking about, oh, where? And smacks him upside the back of the head. Serves him right. Boy, shut up and know when to stop. Damn. Yeah, some people really don't know how to win. Some people really don't know how to win. And it is very important to learn and know how to win. Okay? We'll pick that up when we get there. All right. So he goes on in the house. Jay is like, so did he really beat you 15 to zip? And he like, no, it wasn't no 15 to zip. Wasn't no 15 to zip. It was 15 to 2.5. The ball kept going in and coming out. It's a half shot. Put it together, it all added up to 2.5. But this does give us some indication that as Michael has been constantly repping and practicing, that there has been some improvement in his game coming back together. But Jay derails the conversation and is like, that ain't what I called you in here for anyway. I really need to lay something on you because I forgot that Katie got like a little gymnast recital today, a gymnast performance today. She's going to be doing some new stuff and I really don't want to miss it. But I also forgot that I told Claire that I would take her to the mall. She got to get some bras or whatever. And so Michael is like, I'll take Claire to the mall. Don't worry about it. Claire is like, oh, please, anybody but him. And she like, baby, I ain't got nobody else but him. Like, what's good? You're going to have to make something shake. And she like, every time I go to the mall with him, he embarrassed me. And when Jay mentions the thing about her needing some bras, he's talking about, for the mosquito bites. Just ain't making it no better, honey. But Claire is forced to go to the mall with him. And before everybody head out, Katie talking about, Daddy, you buy me a bra too? And Michael gonna say, yeah, I see if I got some dental floss and some pistachio shells. And Claire is really like hoping and pleading that Michael is gonna be on his best behavior when they go. And he like, look, it's gonna be fun. We're gonna make it fun. Now, I'm gonna save it for the mall conversation because he's gonna be doing some things. When they get to the mall, honey, they get in the shot where Claire wants to get her bras from. It looked like it could be a Victoria's Secret, but they're not showing the whole moniker. But it looked like it's like Vivica's. It's Vivica's Secret on here. But Claire is low-key high-key trying to get rid of him. Like, you can go down there to the sports bar down there. I'm good. I know what I'm looking for. It'll be all right. And he like, no, you understand? Once it's time with you, we're going to bond. What's good? And I want to observe all this equipment they got. Look at these slingshots. Or is it a headband? And he putting the thong on his head and carrying on, just doing the most. Now, I probably would have been cracking up. But where Claire is coming from, this is already somewhat of an uncomfortable experience for her. She's dealing with some insecurities. And Michael is a man, doesn't really understand how to be sensitive to that in this moment. So he's using humor to try to, I guess, like, make light of it, if you will. But it's not really working for Claire. It's really just agitating her more than anything. So he stays in the store, but he just kind of like goes off to the side. After he tells her that while they there, he gonna buy her a sense of humor. But also, we're going to find out that Claire is more than uncomfortable and that she actually has a few ulterior motives that she wants to accomplish while being in this here store. Okay? But as she's looking through the bras, her friends walk in and notice her walk over there to her, and very valley girl, airheaded. Now, she got a diverse group of friends, so this ain't a group of white girls, okay? It's one white girl and a dark-skinned black girl and a light-skinned black girl. And at least two of those girls are pretty well endowed, okay? So it gives us the implication of where Claire, at least some of where Claire is getting these ideas and insecurities from. Now, they having this very dense conversation about, I was like, deja vu, because I just said you earlier at school, and now I'm seeing you here. And so they ask Claire, who is she in the mall with? And Claire kind of like turns around like halfway, and then it's like, girl, I am here by myself, flexing and shit. Trying to be grown and shit. But like I said, this is also off the influence of, in this particular time period, it was a whole lot of in the media that was really like the beginning stages of how social media kind of attacks women's body image. It was the beginning back then where you see all of the like really young celeb girls thrusted in the forefront on magazines and TV shows and movies and shit, and they look grown as fuck. Like, and you see how a lot of young girls be looking even more grown now. So yeah, this is the time period where a lot of this stuff really started as it concerns like the extra emphasis of it. And child, we'll revisit that conversation another time. But yeah, we'll get a pan to Michael over like kind of across the store, and he overhears Claire basically disowning him and acting like he don't exist up in there, and seems like it hurt his feelings. So that night we back in the living room. Junior is eating ice cream and Jay is on the couch with Katie looking through a book, low-key high-key going through, teaching her some colors, making sure she know her colors, all that. So she notices that she hears the dryer and washer going. So she's like, is somebody washing clothes? Like, what is going on? And Junior is like, Michael is washing his clothes, off the back of the bet that Michael lost from them playing the basketball game. Now, Junior got to be extra. So he like, hey, Benson. And Michael comes in and Junior's talking about, I got a stack of nylons for you to tackle next. And Michael is like, yes, sir, massa, yes, sir. So then Claire kind of breaks up this sesh, walking downstairs with 2 bazookas on her chest, honey. Head high, walking like she on the runway, like she confident, but also looking away, not making eye contact with anybody, because she know good and well she wrong. She know good and well she ain't got no business having them big old airbags on her chest. What is happening here? So Michael makes one of the craziest faces. Junior is looking perplexed. Jay turns around and is like, Claire, come here, honey, come here. And Claire is like, what's the problem? And Michael is talking about, yeah, all 3 of you, come here. I see 2 big problems. And Claire is like, honey, what is that? What do you have on? Okay. And Claire is like, it's called a bosom buddy. And she talking about, Dad said I could knock myself out. He like, I said, knock yourself out, not install airbags. So then you hear a car honk or whatever for Claire to go ahead and get to her ride. She like, oh, okay, I gotta go. And he like, nah, you can go, but the Wonder Twins got to stay at the house. And Jay backs him up and was like, no, take the bra off and then you can go. So Claire, acting an ass, sticks her head outside with a big old attitude, rolling her eyes, stomping her feet, talking about, Tiffany, I can't go. So sad. She feels that low that she can't go kick it with her friends without this big old padded bra. But we're going to get to the cleanup part momentarily. But as she storms off, Michael talking about, I want you to put your breast on my dresser. And after that, Jay goes ahead and sends Katie upstairs, but first tells her to clean up her toys. And Junior going to say, oh, don't worry about that. Benson will do it. So Jay, I don't know why I want to call her Claire, child. Jay is over it. And she like, Katie, go ahead upstairs, child. Go ahead upstairs. So Michael turns around and he fed up with Junior crap. He like, I done taken enough from you already. Junior's like, I beat you fair and square. I'm living up to my end of the deal. You got to live up to yours. Michael is like, I'm going to propose a new deal. We're going to play another game. And if you in, I'll increase your allowance. I'll extend your curfew for an hour. And I'm going to clean up your room for a whole year. And so Junior is like, well, all right. And Michael is like, but if you lose, and Junior cuts him off and it's like, you ain't even got to worry about finishing that because I ain't finna lose to you. Let's get it right now. And Michael is like, nah, we gonna get it right now. I need about 2 days for me to, just practice, get in the shape real quick, work on my game. And Junior is like, I give you 3. And in the meantime, I'm going to relax and visualize how I'm going to spend all that money. Now, this is why I said you got to know and learn how to win, because it's real easy to get too big for your britches and start overestimating yourself and underestimating other people. And before you know it, the rug is pulled out from under you. Not to mention, Michael is talking about taking these 2-3 days to get in shape, while Junior is up here feeling like he can just be laid back, eating ice cream, watching TV, chomping on chips, and just, gonna get out there on the court and go to town. He is underestimating his opponent. And that's one of the fundamentals, honey. You never underestimate your opponent. It's always an underdog looking to take your spot. But as Junior heads upstairs, Michael is resisting the urge to kick him in the caboose. But then we transition from that scene, and Michael goes upstairs to Claire's room. Claire's laying down, looking through a magazine, and Michael, is preparing to talk to her. And he tries to, start off by, of course, making a joke. He picks up that bra, puts it on his ears, talking about, if you put these up to your ears, you can hear the entire cast of Baywatch. And he like, Claire, bro, what is wrong with you? Because she's still like rolling her eyes, totally unamused and everything. And he's like, what's good? Like, talk to me. What were you thinking buying this bra, little girl? And she like, all I know is if you want to be popular these days, you got to have something going on up top. And he like, yeah, up top. And he points at her head. Because, trying to impress to her that it's not so much what you have going on with your physicality. It's about what's in your brain. And that is absolutely true. It's just they keep missing the mark of what is actually going on with Claire and what is actually influencing her. Like I said before with Jay, there's a need to acknowledge and validate the fact that what she's stating is a reality from her vantage point. Things have changed from when they were kids. Social media was really just starting to get more popular at that time. And, the things I've already said about the types of girls and women that are being exalted and thrusted in the forefront in that time period. And it wasn't really just women, it was teenage girls thrusted in the forefront, rich and famous, and looking grown. And or doing, like quote unquote grown stuff. And that's what Claire goes on to say. Like everywhere you look, all you see is women with perfect bodies, TV, movies, magazines, billboards, everywhere. And Michael is like, I don't care about none of that stuff. Like those people are just selling products to make people feel less than, so that they feel like they have to spend money in order to get them this stuff to make themselves feel better. And the sooner you get comfortable living in your own skin, the happier you're going to be, which is absolutely correct. It's just, wild at how much stuff is put out in society and in the media to make people hate themselves. It's really crazy how many stories there are of women who are already very slim, like going on casting calls for different things and being told that they're fat and they need to lose 30 pounds. And it's like, where are they going to lose 30 pounds from? Child, just a mess. But like I said, a very, very deep conversation that has to be tackled over a course of time. And of course, where Claire is at that age, she got a long road of combating that stuff. Because look at where we are now. Body positivity is a thing, but it's also still new. And these unrealistic standards of beauty and desirability are still wreaking havoc on the young and the old. But Michael goes on to say, you dissed me in front of your friends today. That hurt my feelings. And Claire is like, it's not that I don't want to be with you. I just don't want to be with you like all the time. I need some space. You got to face the fact that I'm growing up and I don't really want you around for stuff like shopping for bras, And he's like, I understand that. But I also need you to understand that in my eyes, you always going to be my little girl. Like when you were young, I caught you and you look up at me and you smile. And I made a vow to myself that like, this is my job for the rest of my life. And every time I see you about to fall, I got to catch you and make you smile. And I just love the fact that he's very tentative in these ways and has real balanced conversations with his kids. He's not perfect, but he does put forth the effort to get in touch with his feminine side with all of his kids when absolutely necessary. And I love this display of how he uses humor to also have these conversations, and everything is not so aggressive and domineering and authoritative and stuff like that. Because this is like, he has a lot of like homage and references from the way that Bill Cosby would present parenting on the Cosby Show. But also, there have been like a lot of Black father representations, like I think specifically Good Times and sometimes on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And some other shows. I can't quite think of them all right now, but there are quite a few sitcoms where, and not just sitcoms, of course, but where the fathers, Black fathers in particular, are shown very domineering and using a lot of force and anger, and the children nor the wife having much of a voice to be able to correct him or reproach him and influence him to take a different approach and not be so angry about it all, Again, another deeper conversation that has to be unpacked over a course of time. But all of that to say, I just love the uniqueness of how Michael fathers in this show. But as him and Claire are embracing each other as they have made amends and found common ground and understanding, he cracks a joke talking about, now can I take you shopping for panties? Absolutely not. But he's like, I'm just kidding. So we transition to the next scene. Michael is laid on top of the counter while Junior is over to the side asleep with earphones on. And Michael is on top of the counter bench pressing Katie. Katie counts to 17 and then starts over at 1. And he like, wait a minute, what you doing? She like, I can only count to 17. He like, okay, we done then. You go ahead, go play. And Jay walks in and is like, what is going on here? What are y'all doing? And Katie is like, I'm helping daddy get some muscles. And Michael is like, go ahead, put your heavy coat on. I'm going to use you as a soft bag next. So, as a punching bag essentially. But he ain't going to hit her hard. And that's his baby. We ain't got nothing to worry about there. But that's a quick little cute little scene just to show you that Michael is taking this stuff seriously. And then we flash to the next scene where we get even more indication of how serious Michael is taking his training process. He's out doing reps. He out shooting 3-pointers. He out doing layups, just like constant reps, keeping himself constantly going, getting himself in conditioning mode, trash talking to himself, allowing himself to pant and breathe through everything that he is doing, pushing himself to the limit. That's how you condition. You don't stop because you tired, water. You keep going. You push yourself to your almost breaking point type shit. And Jay is coming out a little bit fed up because, she wanna love up on her man, and he out here just constantly going all night long, honey. And she like, when you coming to bed? And he like, what I'm saying, hold up, honey, hold up. Gotta make this shot. I'm coming to bed. Watch this close, baby. Eyes closed like Jordan. He shoots and so she rolls her eyes and storms off, and he continues to give it all that he got. And we see Junior standing in the doorway eating a honey bun or something, laughing or whatever, like something is funny. So you over there consistently getting more out of shape each day, not doing nothing, eating bonbons and shit, and he out here preparing to spank that ass. And Junior kind of realizes that at the last minute, right before we transition to the next day and they are playing this game, and Junior is getting schooled like no other, and Michael is giving it every right and reason for him to be trash talking how he doing. And Junior looks dilapidated, deflated, honey, and Michael is up here in the midst of Junior kind of like giving a very defeated body language and out of breath. Michael got one more point before he win. And so he like, this not only a basketball clinic, this is also a history lesson. Talking about, in the words of the iconic Magic Johnson, I'm about to take you downtown. What I'm going to do is show you the turnaround skyhook that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had he made famous back in 1984. The trick to this shot, son, is you want to ride your opponent down to the rim like this with your butt muscles. And then what you want to do, you want to fake right, and then you're going to go left and bam and swish. It's showtime. It's magic. Voila, magic. So Junior like, come on, one more game. And Michael is like, nah, that's it. It is what it is, playboy. You got to accept it for what it is and what it's going to be. And Michael like, I'm going to take this victory. And Junior about to storm out with an attitude or whatever, and Michael is like, don't be a sore loser, okay? If you mad about where you at, stop taking yourself there. This is your fault. You didn't take me serious. I worked hard. This is a game of fundamentals, not flash. You look at all the great ones. Michael Jordan, first one in the gym, last one to leave. Larry Bird used to shoot 100 3-pointers in one night just to get ready. And Junior talking about, what about shot? Shaq, he can't even throw a free shot. He can't even make a free throw. So Michael is like, you ain't got to make free throws when you tall enough to dunk without jumping, my boy. And Michael just goes on to express to him, like, you got to respect the game, okay? You got to respect the fundamentals. You got to respect the history. You got to respect the greats that came before you and understand what they contributed to this game and how they contributed and how you can use it for the best of your abilities. You are a good player. And you got a lot of potential to be a great player, but you got to take it serious and want more from it than just popularity. And Junior takes it as like, okay, I received that. What I got to do? So then we flash the dead night, or maybe the next night, but to when Junior has his game and he coming downstairs. Look at that boy, them Daisy Dukes on. He got them Daisy Dukes. Look at that boy, them Daisy Dukes on. He got them Daisy Dukes. Junior basically had to wear an even smaller version of that too little uniform that Michael had on at the beginning. And baby, when I say an even smaller, boy, he had some coochie cutters on. Like, them are the Daisy Dukes. And he like, I really gotta wear this, like, bro. And Michael talking about, see, that's why they call it showtime. Let's go. They head on out, and then we flash to later on that night, and Michael is kind of like, playing with an imaginary baseball, doing some little tricks and reps and whatnot in the bedroom. Jay is in the bathroom, they preparing for bed or whatever. And Michael is very proud, low-key, high-key, gloating and doting on Junior about how well he did in the game, how many points he scored, and was like, him and them little shorts, he even scored a couple of numbers from the guys in the Glee Club. A miss. But he was like, he's really coming to the realization that there is truth to the fact that he's getting old, and he's going to kind of have to give up the throne or whatever. And he's talking about, sometimes he feels like he's Michael Jordan and he can float above the rim. But then as soon as he jumps up, he's Michael Bolton and he really can't even get up off the ground. And I think, this newfound proudness and bonding that he just got to experience with Junior has him looking at the whole situation with clearer eyes. And he's admitting his realization that he let his ego get in the way and was caught up in competing and dick swinging with his son. And he can't compete because, he has to step out of the way at some point and allow his son to come into the throne. It's, I guess the realization of mortality and some of the reason why you have kids, to build them up to one day come into, for lack of better terms, your spot and carry the torch and implement some new things in that position all at the same time. But I think, he did right in making sure that he emphasized the importance of respecting the position and respecting those that were in that position before you. And Jay again derails the conversation. Is like, Michael, do you have any energy left? And he's like, for what? And she steps out and she got a nice little lingerie piece on, and them bosoms is boosted like no other, because Jay ain't got no titties for real. And so evidently she got on Claire's bra. And Michael is elated, honey. He like, oh, I don't know, call Jay. And Jay is like, so you like my new look? And Michael is like, to be honest, I like you just the way you are. And Jay is like, oh, baby, so you want me to take these off? And he said, yeah, right after we finish. And they embrace for some Mr. Nasty time. And it fades to black. And that is the end of that episode of Breastises and Basketball. And like I said, child, that was a whole lot of giving us a lot of themes on developing manhood and developing womanhood. Now, something else that I kind of want to touch on here that I didn't quite, because I wanted to go ahead and just get through the review of it all. I think what we saw with Claire and Michael in this episode is the importance of having a present father for girls also, like not just men, but it's very important for girls to have a present father when they're going through these developing womanhood stages. Because what I feel like was being presented to us with that is something that I feel like helps me going through those stages. While each and every person is going to have their insecurities regardless of what stage they are in life, especially as it concerns the developing stages in preteenhood and teenagehood and all that, I didn't really have so much of an issue. I've never felt like insecure type shit about not having really big breasts or a really big booty type shit. And I think one thing that really helped with that is the fact that I had a present father that was constantly showing me attention and affection and validation and value, and really valuing his position in my life as my father, which I feel like I said, Michael having been not as present as we see him be in the show by the time the show is going has had an effect on Claire's self-image, where she's overly concerned with validation and attention from boys because she wasn't getting enough validation and attention from her father before he had enough time to be around the house and be more present in her life, giving her constant affirmation and reaffirmation and reassurance of her value as a person and as a girl and a developing woman. And if he hadn't been present like that in that specific moment, or had the capacity to go up and just really touch base with her on some real shit and go through all of the methods that he tried, not to mention if Jay had ended up taking her to the mall instead, like Jay probably wouldn't have never like brought that subject to him to talk to her about specifically, because a lot of people don't think about the fact that the man's present and the man's input on those situations still has value, especially if he has the capacity and the genuine love for his child to do so. Okay? So it's like, if he hadn't been present and if he hadn't had, stuck to his guns on it, imagine, what would have gone on with Claire and where Claire would have been from that moment, and imagine what their relationship probably would have devolved into. So all of that to say, I feel like that is like just something so valuable, very underrated series and underrated episode, because this has never been one of my favorite episodes, but I really have always appreciated the themes presented and the way they were displayed. And looking back at it as an adult too, I can appreciate it even more, because more people need these types of examples of parents and parent-child relationships. Because child, it's just way too many people out here that just want to beat them, and think all the kids need is just a good ass whooping. When in actuality, no. They need people to not just be physically present and not just talk to them, but also be patient and expand their horizon, be willing to expand their horizon of options and methods that they can use to get through to the youth. And I feel like this show, Damon Wayans, what he contributed to the character and all of that, does a really good job of showing you got to try more methods. Everything can't be resolved with force and competitiveness and dick swinging and beat 'em. But with all that being said, child, if I do say so myself, honey, I have milked this gouger, and I'm thoroughly appreciative for the exchange of vibes. And if you're feeling synchronized, please do me a divine design and like, share, and subscribe so that you can be one of the first to be back through these queenly quarters for the next time. And be sure to bless my comment section with your questions and conversations. And as always, I bid you all light, love, healing, and liberation. Emphasis on liberation. Mwah.